From speech and debate, I definitely learned how to be a better speaker. My speaking improved so much, but also I learned a lot about work ethic because you find being a speech and debater that the quality of your performance is based off the quality of your preparation. My proudest moment, I think, would have to be just a couple weeks ago when I qualified to nationals in original oratory. I did not even think I'd make it into finals, but then Mr. White pulled me aside and was like, oh man, he's gonna let me down. And he said, you're going to Birmingham, so. Okay, so I joined debate my sophomore year on sort of a whim. I don't really know why, like speaking in front of people was terrifying for me, but needless to say, I've definitely grown from this experience. And I found out that speaking is actually something that I really love to do, and I'm so thankful for my team for helping me get to that point. First, I'd like to thank my parents for all your support, from taking me to get pantyhose at 10 o'clock at night to always texting asking for updates, even though you had no idea what I meant when I said I broke to SEMS. To all my coaches, White, Carr, Cunningham, there are instances where all of you pushed me way outside of my comfort zone, and as much as I hated it in the moment, I've definitely grown from that, and so thank you. And to all my teammates, from our first tournament novice year on, I felt nothing but support from this team. I really believe that we all just want the best from each other, and whether we were winning or losing, I just remember laughing together, so thank you.
I definitely learned speaking skills. I'm a lot more confident just sharing my opinion, things like that, and research, finding things I need on the computer, things like that have definitely improved a lot. Probably the Republic tournament in my junior year. That was the first tournament Jessica and I were partners in Public Forum, and we won it. And that was really the first time I actually done well at a tournament, so that was cool. I'd like to first of all thank my parents and my sister Megan for always being there, supporting me, and loving me. You guys are the best, and I love you. I of course want to thank my amazing teammates who are a ton of fun, and the reason that I decided to stick with the class freshman year when I was thinking about taking it out of my schedule altogether. You guys have made the last 4 years a ton of fun, and I'm really glad I decided to stick with it. My biggest thank you has to go out to my coaches. Mr. Carr, you have made the last 4 years very fun, even when I thought about quitting when I was a freshman, which if anyone missed it or doesn't remember, I was extremely horrible and probably shouldn't have, but decided to stick with it anyways. So thank you, Mr. Carr, for that. Miss Cunningham, thank you for coming to us last year. You're the best, and I'm so glad you did. And I'm also very sorry for breaking your purse last year. Mr. White, I am not sure where I would be if you hadn't forced me to do extemp at the beginning of my junior year. I'm not sure what you saw in me, but you were right. Thank you for giving me my voice and allowing me to do something that I love. Thank you to all of you. You're the best, and we couldn't do it without you. Okay.
1,000 Mr. Whites.
Mr. White.
I would perform in front of Mr. White because I don't have a problem performing in front of him.
Is Mr. White in the audience?
No.
The audience.
Probably for Mr. White. I don't know. It depends on whether or not the audience is paid to be there.
Definitely 1,000. He's very critical for a reason. Obviously, that's why we're so good. That's why we've benefited over the years. But he is very, I don't want to say judgmental, but very critical of what you're doing because he wants you to be the best you can be. And he knows that you can be really great. So I would definitely rather pick the group of a crowd of 1,000 than Mr. White.
I'd have to say that an audience of 1,000 would never even reach half of what Mr. White expects you to perform at, so I think I'd choose the audience of 1,000.
I think I would rather perform for an audience of 1,000 because they wouldn't rip me apart like Mr. White does. Although it's helpful.
I'd say that I learned lots of things during my time in speech and debate. I learned public speaking, how to express myself. I learned how to study, thoroughly research. I learned how to see both sides of an argument, and I think that it overall contributed to my ability as a student. Probably the very moment that I found out I was going to nationals. Mr. Carr pulled Jose and I into a corner in Joplin High School and he said, "I'm sorry to inform you, but on a 2-1 decision, you guys are going to nationals." And Jose and I freaked out. It was one of the happiest and proudest moments of my
Okay,
life.
so I guess I'll start by thanking my mom and my dad. Obviously, they were super helpful throughout my debate career. They, in the beginning, would stay up late and they'd drive me places, or they'd find other people to drive me places that I needed to be. They did an increasing amount of pawning it off on other people, but still they were there for me. They kept me fed, they kept me motivated, and I just can't thank you guys enough for all that you've done for me. So thank you for that. I'd also like to thank my grandparents. They were also there for me. They expressed how proud they were every time that I had my picture posted with another trophy, and they just allowed me to pursue my debate career and really made this able to work for me. So I'd really like to thank you for that. I'd also like to thank my coaches, Carr, Cunningham, and White. All of you have shown extreme dedication to the debate program, and I really appreciate all that you've done for not only me, but for all of my friends in the debate program. Without any of your hard work and dedication, this obviously wouldn't be happening, and I think you guys deserve more credit for what you do. I'd also like to thank my debate partner, Jose Castaneda. We were partnered together at the beginning of my junior year of high school, and ever since that moment, my high school career has not been the same. Whether we were winning or losing our debate topics, I still had a lot of fun, and I really can't express how thankful I am that we were partnered together this way, and honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'd also like to thank the Carthage School System Administration for making all of this possible. Obviously, by continuing to fund the debate program, you're allowing for all of this to happen, and this essentially has shaped my world thus far, and I really appreciate your continued dedication towards our achievements. And finally, I'd like to thank my debate friends. Really, you're what made all of this worthwhile to me, and almost every time that I had fun in high school, it was due to you guys in some way, shape, or form. I really love all of you, and I'm going to miss you a lot whenever I graduate and we go our separate ways, but I'm sure that we'll meet again at some point. So, thank you.
In my time in speech and debate, I learned how to be more outward with what I was doing. Before I came here to Carthage and joined speech and debate, I was kind of an introvert and I never talked to anybody. And speech and debate really, brought me out of my shell and learned how to communicate openly with people I had never met before, strangers, things like that. My proudest moment would have to be last year, which was also my novice year of speech and debate. I went to Neosho with my partner at that time, which was Sharon Gonzalez, I think. And we went 6-0, and it was my first place trophy, the first award I'd ever received, and I'm just proud of that. I want to thank Mr. White and Ms. Cunningham for working with us, with me especially, and getting me to the point where I was, and getting me to district's 5th place in radio, and all my partners I've ever been with for their patience with me and all that.
Go Carthage Speech and Debate.
The meaning of Mr. Carr's tattoo, and I quote, is, "These beats are banging."
Carthage Tiger Speech and Debate is the best.
I have no idea. Like, some days he's like, oh, it means Jessica and Jake, and then some days he's like, it means I heart speech and debate. I think it probably means I love speech and debate, to be honest.
I learned how to be more confident and outspoken. I was a little bit before, but it's even more so now. Really working with my old partner Hayden Glenn with our duo, and really just collaborating, putting it together, and making it good. Okay. I'd like to thank Hayden Glenn and Isaac Tyre for being good partners.
Throughout my time in speech and debate, it definitely taught me a lot about public speaking and how to get outside of my comfort zone in the events that I was doing. But above that, it taught me how to have confidence in myself, not only when I was in a room performing, but also just in life in general. Like, for example, at every speech and debate tournament, I would make it a goal to go up and meet a new person or make a new friend. And without speech and debate, I wouldn't have had the the network to be able to do that, but also I don't think I would have had the confidence to go up and start conversations. My proudest moment, it was definitely last year at Nationals when I found out that I made finals of storytelling, and I was really proud of that, but I think my proudest moment came after, when Mr. White gave me like 3 consecutive compliments after I found out, and I think that was more than he'd given me in my 3 prior years combined.
First of all, I'd like to give a huge thank you to my parents for always being there for me throughout high school and speech and debate, and for always encouraging me and for supporting me, and for listening to my pieces and watching them countless times, even though you were probably sick of them, for putting up with me screaming in my bedroom on several occasions in order to practice my pieces, and for always feeding me regardless of how late I would come home after tournaments. So yeah, thank you so much for all of the support. Thanks to my brother Marcus for at least acting like you cared about my speech and debate endeavors, and for always congratulating me when I would come home from a tournament. Thanks to my little sister Mia for helping me pick out storytelling pieces throughout the years, and for being a great little coach. Without you, I would have never found Hooray for Wadney Wat, one of the best pieces I have ever done throughout high school. And I can't wait to watch you compete in Interp when you get to high school, because I know you will, just as long as you keep up with working on that, or wait, hold on. Just as long as you keep working on that Russian accent, you'll be great. Now I'd like to say thanks to all of my incredible teammates for being there for moral support throughout the years, and for also becoming some of my best friends. I feel like I've gotten so much closer to you guys this year especially, and I am going to miss you all so much next year, but I'll definitely come back and watch. But except for, the seniors, I probably will never see you again. So now I'd like to move on to Mr. Carr. Thanks so much for being a morale booster throughout the years, and the comic relief when Mr. White gets mad at us. Collectively, I'd say that the members of CHS Debate have at least 100 Mr. Carr quotes written down somewhere, and your quotes have been the source of several tweets, so you're basically famous by this point. So thanks so much for helping me look for scripts whenever I needed them, and for being an overall awesome coach. Now I'd like to thank Ms. Cunningham. I am so grateful that you started teaching in the high school. Thanks for everything, from helping me work on my pieces to helping me out with college audition stuff. You're awesome, and without you, I wouldn't have gotten to have so many adventures in Salt Lake City, driving around and watching random HIs and going to Target. Those were some rad times that I'll never forget. And I feel so lucky to not only have had you as a director and a coach, but also as a great friend. Now, Mr. White, you've been one of the main reasons why my high school experience has been so great. You've always motivated me to be the best that I possibly could be in everything that I've ever done, and I'm really thankful for that. From forcing me to scream at you my freshman year, to improve my DI, to working with me along with Mr. Carr and Ms. Cunningham the night before storytelling finals at Nationals in Salt Lake City this past summer. You've been right there through everything, and I firmly believe that I wouldn't be the person that I am today without you, so thank you so much. Speech and debate as a whole has had a huge impact on me throughout high school, and the memories that I made with all of you are memories that I'll never forget. So thanks to everyone for everything.
Shade, definitely. I didn't even know what that meant until I got into debate. I don't know, I guess we have our own little slang, so I don't even notice it now, but just like abbreviating things, I don't know, there's probably a lot of them that I don't even notice anymore.
Like my first week here, and I don't remember who said it, there's no crime in speech and debate, and we've said that a lot.
A few phrases that are pretty common among the debate team, especially last year, was what a flop. That's legendary. And then, or as Jake Thompson would say, iconic.
Yes, definitely. I learned on fleek, I learned fam, I learned lit, I learned bless, I learned contention, subpoint, and perm. I learned lots of stuff.
I'd say the best thing that I learned was like how to research. It's something that you kind of take for granted for a while, but as far as like school projects or even just like presentations go, that was probably the biggest benefit that I had from speech and debate, is just that ability to be able to research basically anything and then be able to give a speech on it just out of the blue, like off the whim of the whim of my cuff. I could do any of that. So I'd like to say that I have two major moments. One was winning districts with Anna this year. It was really cool, a great moment, kind of a goal that we had going into it, and so it was really awesome to actually achieve that. And then probably my biggest one overall the course of 4 years was when I won my first trophy at my very first tournament, because Mr. White, was giving me crap saying that I couldn't do it, and then I did, and he was just really proud of that moment, and especially from a novice point of view, that was really cool.
So a lot of people don't know this, but my freshman year, joining speech and debate, beforehand, like during the summer, I had already committed to being in speech and debate, but I emailed Mr. White because I had decided not to do debate. Basically, the email just consisted of me saying, "Hey, Mr. White, sorry, I decided not to be in speech and debate. Sorry for the inconvenience," and that was basically it. And I obviously got no reply, and getting no reply was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. Not getting that reply forced me to have to go to class on the first day of freshman year, and because I had to go to that class, I realized that the only class that me and my best friend had together, Anna, was that class was debate, and so we decided to stick it out, obviously, and to stick with debate every year consecutively. I mean, I contemplated quitting and stuff like that, but that was probably the best decision that I've ever made. There's something that a lot of people don't understand about speech and debate, is that going to all of these tournaments, being together, late nights, early mornings, being together, working on multiple different topics all the time is just a way that you grow together, and people don't really get that unless you're really a part of it. The very first time I spoke to Mr. White, he gave me the nickname Sporty Spice because freshman Jessica was all into the pulling her hair back and, wearing basketball shorts and a t-shirt. And he told me, I'll learn your name once you win a trophy. Once you're important, then I'll learn your name. And so, Jessica, if you know me at all, I like a challenge. And so that's exactly what I did. Outside of my finals round at my very first tournament, Mr. White, believe it or not, he looked a little bit impressed. And so it was a really great moment. He always makes you feel like you can do better than what you're doing right now. There's always a next level of achievement. And that's something that's going to carry with me anywhere I go and any single aspect of my life. I'm always going to have that next level that I'm trying to achieve, because that's what debate is. It's always trying to achieve that next level. And that's something that I would never have gotten unless I was a part of speech and debate. Mr. Carr, on the other hand, is, the one who's fun and loving and, is always there to, make you have a better day, especially senior year when you're feeling down on yourself all the time because, you have all this stuff going on. You're trying to figure out your life and the next step, and he's always there to just make you laugh and make you have fun and make you put everything and all your problems into perspective. And so for that, I could never be more grateful. Mr. White and Mr. Carr weren't just there for me getting my trophies or me getting my achievements or reaching my goals. They were also there for the times when I found out that I wasn't going to be valedictorian, or times when I was so down on myself that I literally didn't know what to do or what next step to take, or even what I was going to major in college. They were all there for those moments. Or even when I was just in a slump this past year, all of those times, they were there for me. They helped me sit down and figure it out. I remember multiple times crying in front of Mr. Carr and Mr. White, and they were there for me. I hope that everybody finds somebody that believes in them as much as Mr. Carr and Mr. White believe in the students that they have that go through this program. Thank you, Dad, for helping practice debate me, helping me learn how to not raise my voice but improve my argument. Thank you, Mom, for breaking up those fights and those arguments all the time when they got a little out of hand. You guys are basically my biggest inspiration at all. You both work so hard, and you've given me everything that you could possibly ever give me, and for that I could never be more grateful. You guys are the reason I work so hard and the reason I've set my goals and my aspirations so high, because you guys mean everything to me, and so thank you. To Jonathan, my twin, my partner in crime, You are also a big inspiration to me. I mean, you just go above and beyond. You are the most likable person I have ever met. You know, you always take it a step further. You are so kind to everybody. You're probably one of the smartest people I've ever met, probably the biggest procrastinator I've ever met, but you are going to go super far, and I cannot wait to be a part of that and to see where you go, no matter what path you choose. As for my friends that have been a part of this program, thank you so much for everything. All of the nameless moments on the bus, all of the random tournaments, all the buying each other snacks because we were in round and we didn't have anything to eat afterwards. Thank you guys for everything. You guys mean everything to me. To the people who are going to be here next year that are going to take over this program, like the juniors and the sophomores, I cannot thank you enough for developing Anna and I into the partnership that we are and debating us and just being there for us and being the greatest friends that I've ever had. You guys.
I have learned so much. I've learned like leadership skills. I've learned how to use my voice in general. I've learned how to express my viewpoints, especially with others that like don't agree with me. So yeah. My proudest moment was probably at Nationals last year when I broke and I made it to top 60 in my event at Nationals. That was definitely my proudest moment. Okay, first of all, I want to thank like people who foundationally helped me. So that would have been like Jackie Mayfield, Ben Hoover, Quentin Lucas for teaching me how to do extemp, Katie, Louisa, Peppers, definitely. Those are the people that like really foundationally helped me. And then like in Debate Now, I want to thank Grace for being my best friend and for being like my partner that's not my partner. I'm really proud of her, and I know she's going to be great next year. I want to thank like just my entire like our debate family because we're really like a family. So like Dylan, Megan, Anna, Jessica, Mikkel, you know, just everyone else that's in our family. So, and then also want to thank Mr. Carr and Miss Cunningham. Like you guys do like so much for our program, and even though I haven't like worked personally with them, you know, they are like the reason, like part of the reason why our program is so successful. And then Mr. White, obviously. Mr. White is a lot more than just like a teacher or a coach. Like he's like just, I mean, like he's my best friend. No, not really, but but I do. I'm gonna miss like our seminar talks because we talk every single day in seminar, and he pretends to listen to me talk about my day, and you know, he's just pushed me to be a really good person and pushed me to be the best that I can be, and for that I'm gonna be like forever grateful to him. And then finally, like I guess my parents, I need to thank them. Thank you for like your undying love and support. Especially thank you to my dad who encouraged me to do debate freshman year in the first place, and who has found and cut so much evidence for me, like extensively. So thank you. No, that's it. Other than just like to everyone that's going to be here next year, you guys are going to be great. I believe in you. It's going to be awesome. To all the underclassmen, I really want you to stick with debate because it's worth it. And your senior year, you're going to realize like how beneficial it is for you, especially when colleges are looking at you and putting it on scholarships and everything. So stay with it. It's a great activity, and I love everyone.